Good morning and welcome to the Woodlands Area Chamber of Commerce Between the Trees Business Talk presented by Woodlands Online. We are thrilled that you would join us this morning to spend a little time learning about all the wonderful things that we have going here in the Woodlands. And today we are overjoyed to have Dr. Reese Reid-Hart, President of Lone Star College-Montgomery and Woodlands Area Chamber of Commerce
That's
board
right.
member. And
Yes.
so welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you here and to learn about, in the context of business, in the context of the chamber, but, really one of the key elements to all of that stuff working, which is education and workforce.
Yes.
And we know that if we have any experts in our area on workforce and education, it is you and the team at Lone Star College. So welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Love being here.
Absolutely. So as we get going, we'll get to a lot of talk about the college and all of the things that are going on there. But Dr. Reid-Hart, you had a storied career in education and over 25 years of service and preparing young people for the real world, as it were. But tell us a little bit about you. Where are you raised? Where'd you grow? Or I should say, where'd you grow up?
Where'd I grow up?
I hate when people say raised. It sounds like you're corn or something. They're like, where were you raised?
Well, I will say I've lived all over, but majority of my childhood was spent growing up in Chicago. So I'm from Chicago. I lived in California for a little bit. I lived in Tennessee for a little bit. But when people ask that question, I say born and raised in Chicago.
Sure.
I am a product of the inner city of Chicago public school system. I am not the typical college student, and most people will be surprised that I'm sitting as a president, I think, today, just because of some of the struggles I had
Sure.
In college when I first started. I was on a full ride scholarship to a private university up in Chicago, first generation student, first time in college. Didn't quite understand what to do and what it took to be successful.
Sure.
And I did like so many of our students do. I messed up my second semester of freshman year and actually just stopped going to class, not realizing the impact that would have on me. End up paying that $40,000+ back out of pocket because I lost the scholarship for the full year. But luckily I can use my experience and share that story with the rest of my students. How I fell into education, I was actually planning on going to law school. And the job that I was working on campus, I went to Eastern Illinois University. And my boss was like, can you stay? We need you to stay another year. We'll pay for you to get a master's degree. And I was like, I turned down a job. I flipped through that catalog and I found the quickest degree that we had at Eastern Illinois in the master's program, which was education, Master's of Clinical Psychology and Education. And things happen for a reason.
Sure.
Because I absolutely fell in love with the world of education.
Awesome.
And just never looked back. And so I started my career with the City Colleges of Chicago, worked my way up from part-time counselor up to Dean of Students, Dean of Instruction.
Wow.
Transferred to Houston in 2016. Was fortunate enough to land a job at Lone Star College-Montgomery. And most recently, I got promoted to the president after being vice president of instruction.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what a journey that is. And Eastern Illinois University.
Illinois,
I mean,
yes.
a lot of folks don't know.
Yes.
And, I think we take for granted sometimes our kind of smaller, more regional universities that aren't the flagship, but they produce a ton of great
Yes.
people doing all kinds of things. And Eastern Illinois specifically is a great school.
Yes.
And has only made one mistake in its entire existence.
Oh.
And I think his name is Tony Romo.
He went to Dallas.
But no, it is a great school. A lot of folks don't know. They know him as a Cowboy, but
Yes.
don't realize that he came out of a
My
small
alma
Division
mater,
I
yes.
school
Yeah.
right there in Illinois. So I had to take that one little one, that one opportunity. But it is, great story, and I think not atypical, particularly in this time. It's and I think it speaks to the role that our smaller colleges have, but that place that the community college has.
Yes.
It is not. Oftentimes, I think folks there over the years there was kind of a stigma, but there's a critical role, whether it is for someone to go into technical education or skilled trades or all those things, or go to the four-year university. I mean, my path went through community college, and very similar. I got out of school, and I was like, I'm running straight to the university, and got there for a semester and was like, this costs a lot of money.
Yes.
And my mom couldn't do it, and so I went back home and said, I got to find a different path. And community college was it, and so then you go through the progression. But I can say that as I got to the 4-year, I think on the instruction, the relationships, the level of service that I got at the community college, combined with the cost, I love my alma mater, but wow, what an experience there, and what a level of care for the students.
So I think that's the beauty of the community college. You get that, you get the same level of instruction that you would get. And I can guarantee you that the instruction that our students are receiving at Lone Star is the same level of instruction they would get from any Ivy League or any other private institution or state institution that a student can go to. Our faculty are well prepared and trained and knowledgeable. And I'm going to share really quick a personal story. I have a daughter who I won't name the school, but she went to one of the public Texas university, and she was a biology major. And after she graduated, she wanted to go to vet school, and so she wasn't quite ready as soon as she graduated undergrad. So I said, you should come to Lone Star College-Montgomery and take a couple of courses in our biotechnology program. And she did. And she said the experience and the knowledge and the expertise that she learned at Lone Star College-Montgomery, specifically in our biotech, didn't even compare.
Wow.
What she got. She was like, she learned so much more.
That's phenomenal.
And she was a 4-year
Yeah.
graduate. I almost named the school. She's a 4-year graduate from that school. And I'm not taking anything away from her experience, because we have great 4-year institutions, of course. But I say that just to say that I know personally the experience and the knowledge that our students are gaining at Lone Star specifically is not rivaled.
Absolutely.
It is simply outstanding. And so much so it prepared her when she got into she went and got her master's, I won't name the school, in medical science. It was that experience and that expertise. Absolutely. And actually, when she applied for medical school, in the way she was able to talk about research in the biotech world.
Interesting.
She got into veterinary school on her first attempt.
Absolutely. That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And it is truly, and I've had the opportunity to tour the campus a couple of times and to interact with a few of the campuses in the system. And there is an air of excellence in everything that gets done, the way that does. We were just talking about the studio there on campus. And I'm talking from biotech research, on Lone Star College-Montgomery's campus, we're talking everything from, full-fledged production studios and biotech research and education to the nursing program, that you walk in and it looks like an actual hospital room with real patients laying there, to pottery, right?
Yes.
And students get this comprehensive experience that prepares them well for their next step, in a way that the other thing that really stands out to me is, as you walk across campus, is students know their administrators. They're calling them by name, and administrators are calling them by name, and shaking hands and loving on students, which I think at the community college level is, again, another one of those things that you don't get everywhere.
Yeah. And the beauty, another aspect of it, and this is a recent change, that we've now capped our classes at 28.
Wow.
So not only do you get the smaller class size, you get to know your students on that more personal level. They feel that connection, that sense of belonging. And we are. I mean, when I came to Lone Star, it was just, and I tell people this, it was something magical when I stepped onto that Montgomery campus in particular. I was like, this is where I belong, because you can feel the commitment that our faculty and staff and administrators have for our students.
And speaking as a guy whose very first college class, I walked into a room and there were 180 students. I thought, oh my Lord.
Same here. I felt the same thing.
And so to be capped at 28, that's, I mean, across education, period.
And
It's
that's
phenomenal.
for our academic courses.
Mhm.
Most of our workforce courses are even smaller, just because of the lab size or clinical placement. So
Sure.
you're getting an excellent education.
That's
from those
amazing.
folks.
That's great. So, lots of good things. Wonderful campus, a lot of opportunities. The campus itself is beautiful, and y'all are located conveniently for people to get there and all those things. But there's some big things happening. Y'all have quite a few big strategic priorities
We
that
do.
you're working on now.
We do. So for Montgomery specifically, we have our priorities overall from a system level, and then what I do at the campus level is make sure my priorities are in alignment with the system. And so we have a focus on retention and completion. What happens? We have a focus on the students after they complete their program. So whether they be transferred to the four-year institution and or job placement.
Sure.
We also have a focus on innovation. And it's one of the things, and you're the first, I'm going to announce it now because I think our staff are there working on campus. But one of the things that we're going to do in support of the innovation is that my office will be we've created an innovation fund.
Awesome.
Where anybody, part-time, full-time, whatever level you are, they can tap into these funds to come up with an innovative practice, promising practice that we could then scale up in coming years. So we're really excited about that. We're focused on the retention, completion, and job placement. I am looking, so if you're interested, I would love to be able to partner with more of our industry partners to offer job placement for our students, job shadowing, mentoring. If you want to come in, do some training on soft skills, what do our students need to be even more successful outside of I understand how to weld, or I understand how to be a pilot. Like our students, what we're learning, especially following the pandemic, is that a lot of our students are lacking some of the soft skills.
Sure.
And so we want to make sure across all of Lone Star that students are fully prepared in both the soft and hard skills for the workforce.
Absolutely. And so that's amazing. And you heard it here first. Innovation Fund is and an area, here in the greater Woodlands area, kind of all across Montgomery, is one even at the chamber that we're focusing on. And you being a part of our innovation steering committee and talking through those issues of how do we foster this ecosystem where these great ideas can get funded, can get recognized, and then those who have started companies can grow. So we're excited to hear that y'all are doing that over at the college. What else do you have in the way of priorities that are going on?
Well, I will say we're getting ready to, it takes effect September 1st officially, although we've already started the plans. Most recently, between my colleague over at Tomball, Dr. Nutt, we've decided to do a swap with the chancellor's approval of our Magnolia and Creekside centers. Creekside is located in the Woodlands, and so beginning September 1, our Montgomery campus will take ownership of Creekside, and we have big plans for the Creekside Center. It is prime, beautiful space.
Sure.
We would love to have our industry partners come in and utilize that space for training, help us develop additional programming that maybe need to upskill the current workers. We are planning to offer the Bachelor of Teaching program out of the Creekside Center. Right now, we're in a approval phase. So, for community colleges, if we want to offer a new program, we have to go through our accrediting body as well as the coordinating board. So we've submitted our paperwork and we're waiting. We're hoping to launch that program in fall of 26 at Creekside. We do know what other program is moving, but I can't say that yet because I haven't announced it to the campus. But we expect to see that center up and fully operational and just partnering with the community in that aspect.
Awesome. That's another great addition to everything else that's going on. So here we are. The college seems to be doing well, and new programs, existing programs, and how many students do you all have now?
We have over 16,000 students right now, and I will say I'm most excited. Well, not most. I'm very excited. We'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary. This fall. And when we first opened our doors, we started off with only around 3,200 students, and now we're up to 16,000 plus students that we serve annually. And so we're excited about that. The campus. I'm trying not to give away too much because a lot of it is going to be released tomorrow following my campus convocation. But we have a lot of different activities and different initiatives that we'll have taking place in support of our 30-year anniversary.
Awesome. So we'll be on the lookout for that information.
Definitely.
And we'll once again, I guess, mid-show kind of say thank you Because for those of y'all didn't hear what she just said, convocation is actually tomorrow. So this is kind of back to school week for y'all
This
to
is my
ramp up
welcome
with.
back week. Yes, yes.
Welcome back week, and everything, starting to kind of hit on all cylinders at the college. So it's great to have you step away from
Yes.
all of that. Another kind of tie-in, we're talking 30 years that you all have been there. So you all weren't the first campus in the system, but the best, right?
Being competitive in a friendly way, yes. Montgomery is the best out of all of our campuses.
Absolutely. And y'all were the fourth campus?
We were the fourth campus, and North Harris was,
Okay.
it was North Harris Community College, but North Harris is the first campus, and we're the fourth. We're now, though, the second largest. So Cy-Fair is the largest, and they serve around 24,000 students, and we're the second largest with 16,000, followed by Kingwood with around 12.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
another shameless plug and tie-in, September 26th, we'll do our annual meeting and awards gala, or not gala, but luncheon. And our legacy award winner this year is Mary Madison Parish, who was one of the instrumental voices here in the Woodlands.
Yes.
For Lone Star having a presence here. So, to get to celebrate her 30 years of the college, we have to make that a big deal, and, those ties, because it really is, the community and the education system coming together to make it happen for all of our folks who want workforce education.
And I will say, I think what makes my campus, Lone Star is incredible, but what makes the Montgomery campus so special is the community that we serve, because we have the full support of our community. And coming from, and I'm not knocking any other community college anywhere, but coming from Chicago, which has community support, it's just a different feel in the Woodlands.
Absolutely.
And I've never seen a community that wraps its arm around everything that exists within that community, from school, the businesses, the small businesses. It's just incredible. And I tell people, this is the best kept secret out there,
right?
The Woodlands.
It's so true. Mm-hmm. It's so true. And as I mentioned, I went to community college, and I went through the California system, where it's a rock solid system, mm-hmm. and it was really good. But the level of community engagement and care on the campus that I attended, and knowing others that went to other, it's not the same. It was just like, that's the community college. They're there. We can support if we need to, but they get enough. But here, as you said, in every aspect, it's different. And I want us, we say it almost every week, and, we have some example of it, but we need to keep that in mind as we go about our daily lives, is to never take that for granted, because it is different. So, so other things at the college. What's the state of the college right now?
So I do want to give a shameless plug.
Absolutely.
We are going to be offering on October 18th a 2025 Texas Gulf Coast Biotechnology and Biomanufacturing Education Conference.
Awesome.
And so this is our first annual, with many to come. This event will bring our industry leaders, educational sectors together from across the entire Texas Gulf Coast to strengthen our collaboration and working together. What are the changes that are coming from an industry and job skill needed? What do we need to do from an educational sector to support that workforce development? And so if anyone is interested, please reach out to me. I would love to get that flyer out to you and share with you.
We'll certainly send us one over to the Chamber. That's an Innovation Council Dream Conference. And, that's one of those things is we want to do, is connect folks to additional educational opportunity, as well as understand where we're headed in this area. That's phenomenal that get to play host.
Really excited about that one.
That is huge. That is huge.
We're also in the process of developing an employer relations center, where our industry partners can come in and partner with us. Again, meet with our students, provide job training, but we'll have almost a hub where all of our students can go, past graduates, incoming students. Like, we want, when our students walk through the door on day one, we want them to have in mind, what is your end goal? Whether that's transfer to the 4-year school and or for job placement. We want to set them up from day one, have our partners, so they can already have in mind, this is the company I want to go work for. Our company, the industry, that we serve over here in the Woodlands, they can tell us what they're looking for, and we can make sure we're preparing our students to backfill that gap that they may have.
Absolutely, and that's that's critical, and I've long held it, but several years ago, probably 12, 14 years ago now, Jim Clifton wrote the book The Coming Jobs War, and there were a lot of poignant kind of messages that he had in that book, but one that I had kept with me all these years after reading it, even the first time, was that those communities and those places in the world who have talent win. We talked all about industry recruitment and the changes in economic factors and all these things, but if you have talent, you win. And you all are striking at the core of building that talent locally and engaging it with the community so that our students graduate and they go, why would I go anywhere else? And so we're, a critical part of that growing your own, because you can't recruit everything you need.
Right.
You have to have a strong element of growing your own, and you all are doing that.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I was really pushing for Montgomery to be one of the first campuses to have the Bachelor of Teaching. Because when we met with our superintendents, we learned that, they have to do the teaching, the practicum. The students come to them from all over the state, and then they leave and go back home.
Yeah.
Well, let's provide this opportunity here locally. There's such a teacher shortage across the state.
Yes.
Well, and so I am working with each of our ISD superintendents. Will you allow our students to come do their practicum and their teaching there? And that way they can come, stay in their community, get trained, and then work.
Absolutely.
When they're done.
And I don't know, and maybe it's just anecdotal on my part, but I feel like we have a lot of discussion in K-12 education about the challenges of the classroom. And we do have a teacher shortage, and we hear generally because we tend to hear bad in the news anyway. But you hear about a lot of the struggles of teachers. And I often think, why do I not feel like that was so much the case when I was growing up, when I was in elementary school? And the more I reflect on it, the more I talk to folks who are older than me, some of it was that very fact that our teachers were from our communities. They lived there, they shopped there, they went to church there. And so there was an element of you that, one, you represent home when you go to school. The flip side of that, though, was my teachers really knew my mom.
It was a community.
It was a community.
It was community.
And so that opportunity for them to fully be ingrained, to be a part of that community, you act a little different at school when I might go to the grocery store with my mom and we bump into my teacher. It's not just back to school night or any of those things. So that's phenomenal that we're going to be growing, teachers and yes, the opportunity to serve in their school. I don't think you ever see a teacher who's more proud than to say, this is my home.
Yes. And then just, I know we're running close on time.
No, you're fine.
Okay. I do want to mention one of the things that we're also doing as a part of our 30-year anniversary, our initiative. And again, I'm announcing this to our faculty and staff tomorrow, so you guys will get it here first, is our 30 acts of service that we plan to do. So beginning in September through July of 2026, the college will be undergoing 30 acts of service where we can partner with our local nonprofit organizations, and we will come out as a campus to support our community, because that's what we're here to serve, our community. We're looking at, hopefully, with the YMCA Interfaith, the Montgomery County Food Bank, Junior Achievement, just a few of them. But if you're interested, please reach out, because we would love to come support.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And again, one of those things that I think is beautiful about truly living out the name community in your name, right? And so not just everybody coming to the campus, but taking the campus out of the walls and serving in the community in different ways. I know that, as a chamber organization, we certainly appreciate the partnership. And I want you all to know that it's not just this high level, you get to sit down with the president every so often and she comes and gives input on leadership. We have Lone Star faculty kind of woven throughout in committees. Just last year, the Woodlands Area Business Summit, team leader, Lone Star College faculty, Dr.
Yes.
Leo. He's
Yes.
and he's everywhere. But he did a great job leading that. But all throughout, folks engaging in those areas of interest, and you all giving them the freedom.
Yes. So one of
to
the
serve.
things too that I've done under my since I became the president in fall of 23 was making sure that more opportunity exists, not just for my administrative staff, but at all levels of the college. And so now what I do, and this was just part of being out in the community, representing who we are, that whole connection you talked about with
Absolutely.
students, owning that we are all a part of this community and we all make an impact for our students in the community. So anytime there's any opportunity, galas, committee work, leadership, I open the invite to the entire campus.
That's
And
phenomenal.
anyone can go and represent Montgomery and be the face of the college.
That is amazing. And so, there's 16,000 students. We got fully engaged, staff and faculty over at the college. 30 years of service to the community and looking toward the next 30.
Yes.
And it sounds like y'all are really positioning us to do well
Yes.
over the next 30.
Yes.
I think it's worth pointing out, and you can speak to this, is how nimble you are as an educational facility. So often we think of education as, we'll say a cruise ship, not a speedboat. But y'all are making changes that are relevant to today and taking us toward tomorrow.
We are, and I do think that's, again, the beauty of a community college. We're in a position to be more nimble because the purpose of a community college is to serve the community in which we reside, right? And your community changes. The demands, the workforce, it changes and it can shift in the blink of an eye. And if we're serving our purpose, which is to serve the community, we have to be nimble. We have to be flexible. We have to be willing to try things that most institutions would shy away from.
Sure.
And so I think as long as we're serving our community and we keep our students at the forefront and our community at the forefront of everything we do, we'll always be successful.
Excellent.
And I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And that is truly, I think, one of those amazing features as you all go forward. And then going out to the acts of service. So name a few of those again. We had the food bank. We got.
So these are just off the top
Just off the top of your head. Anybody
any
who wants to
nonprofit,
apply.
yeah. So the YMCA Interfaith Montgomery County Food Bank Junior Achievement, the Montgomery County Hard Walk, the Women's Center, Texas Children, Toys for Tots, Sleeps in Heavenly Peace. Those are just some. We work with so many organizations.
Sure.
So honestly, there may be some we're not aware of. I do invite you to reach out to us. We would love to come support.
Absolutely. So please do that. Those who hear and know, go ahead and reach out and do that. In closing, I think that it's important. We've talked about it a few different times, but the role of the chamber and the business community. You accepted a leadership position with the chamber and will be on our board of directors. Why is that important to you?
Well, when you think about the purpose of the chamber, which is to support the businesses and to promote that, as the president at Montgomery, we play a critical role in providing that training piece, but not just training, but providing a space for the community to come out. I think it's critical, and I would hope that more leaders within the community, if you have not joined the chamber or have not thought about sitting on the board, to consider it, because you need people who are willing to be innovative, who are being, and I hate that word, think outside the box, because I don't know what box actually exists. There is no box. But to think differently than what we've done before.
Sure.
And to give back. This is my way of giving back to the community that has embraced me as a president at the college and embraces our college every day. This is my way of giving back to the community that serves me.
And it's that landing place. I appreciate you saying that. I mean, just this coming up Friday, the Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce executives will host. They do an annual leadership thing, and they'll have that meeting at Lone Star College-Montgomery on Friday morning. Yes. So you'll have chambers of commerce from all across the Gulf Coast region, which is defined loosely, but it's kind of from Brenham out to Beaumont. But all those folks coming in, and they get to see the wonderful work that we're doing. They get to, I hope, see some of the things that are going on at Lone Star and go back to their communities and say, hey, we need to be thinking a little bit differently. But use the example
Yes.
that they have, because you all are definitely setting the example. One other quick thing that I will point on or point out, um, as it relates to the community college, is that postgraduate function. I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, and you said it because that's just part of y'all's everyday, but that's a critical part of y'all's operation. It's it is. What's
is.
your end goal, right? Is that question you're asking students, and I think that's different from every other place that it is. I mean, I guess a kid going into high school, the end goal is I want to get out of here. But for you all, it is. It's the job, it's the transfer,
Yeah.
and that's all tied together in the way that you all operate.
It is.
And so that's another one of those critical things that we need to keep in mind, that you all walk that out every day. Well, as we get ready to close or come up toward the end of our time, anything else you want to share with us about?
I just want to thank the chamber for the
Absolutely.
support that you all have always shown to the college. And again, if there's anything that we can do from the community standpoint to support our community, I'm just a phone call away. Just let
Awesome.
us know. We're here to serve.
Well, we certainly appreciate that, and I can say firsthand, believe that when you hear that Dr. Reid-Hart is just a phone call away, and she will answer and is there to work with us. Again, Dr. Reid-Hart, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here, and taking the time during this welcome week to join us and to spend this time with us, but to share insights from the college. To share hopefully information that some of us, well, we know we got some breaking news, but certainly the multitude of things that you all are doing to support not only our young people and our students that are here, but the community at large, and how you've engaged fully to live out that part of your name. So with that, thank you again. Thank you all for joining us on Between the Trees Business Talk, presented by Woodlands Online. We are so thrilled that as we start a new school year, as we continue on, that we know that we have another partner that is making the Woodlands area great, that is preparing our workforce for the next, for things to come, and serving business at the same time and meeting those critical needs. So until next time, we thank you for tuning in today, and we will see you next week right here between the trees. Have a great day.